Hello, everybody. My name is Oscar, and this is day 3 of many vlogs to come. As you know, this is a 4-year project that I'm planning to do. I'm not going to repeat myself every single time, but just figured for a couple, I will keep informing you guys that this is going to be happening for 4 years now. But yesterday's subject was just kind of like a brief go through of my life. And if you want to watch that video, you can click it right here. But until then, let's continue on to day 3. Now, today's topic is going to be work. Throughout my life, I am 18 years old, and throughout my life, I've had about 6 jobs. The first job I can remember was working at a hotel named Days Inn, and I'm pretty sure that most of you guys know what this is. It's a very popular hotel. It's not fairly super popular, but I think it's well known enough. So that was my first job. The first thing I remember is I worked as a assistant maintenance manager type dealio. Basically, all I did was go around if there was like a weird spot in the hallway that for some reason looked like it was off colored, then I'd paint it to make it look like the rest of the wall. If the key card slots didn't have energy, I changed the battery. Um, Vacuumed the hallways, did stuff like this. Not too big stuff, windows, stuff like that, little things. And that job I worked at for around a month. So I left that job because I ended up moving to California, and I think that was the second time I went back to California. But that will be a whole different story, a whole different video. Maybe it'll be tomorrow's. But when I came back from California, you I started working at a well-known place that I enjoy eating at. It's interesting. It's called Subway, and Subway was probably honestly one of the best jobs I've ever had. Um, I really enjoyed it. The people were nice. We got free food. And the people were nice, and we got free food. And we got free food. So that was really nice. I worked there for about 3 months. I ended up leaving because I joined a little organization called FFA in school, and I it was my last, well, not my last year. So it was my last year of high school, and I decided I want to be a little more social with people. Before that, I wasn't too social. I was just kind of like that kid who people thought was funny because I'm an awkward kind of funny, and hopefully you'll see that eventually. But people say they like my humor, um, but I decided I want to be a little more social. So I joined FFA. Everything was going good, um, and so I left because of that, and also I left because it was my homecoming, and that was my first homecoming that I, my, that I've ever gone to. And because before that I didn't want to go, but I had a friend who was going to be the homecoming king, and he said, you know, can you come? Because no one else is going, and all that fun mumbo jumbo. So I'm like, you know what? You my homie, so I'm gonna go. So I went, and it was honestly pretty good. I mean, okay, it was amazing. I didn't dance or anything, but just like having the experience of going um, to the dinner beforehand. We went to a hamburger cheeseburger in paradise or something like that. It's like it's like a tropical themed burger place that has like not only burgers but other stuff. But it was really nice. I kind of dressed up. I wore a button-up shirt and some black pants and some Vans, I guess, because it wasn't like super formal, but I don't think any homecoming is. And we went there. We went to the homecoming thing. My friend got crowned, and after that, we ended up going home. And around like 12 o'clock, we had a call from some of the from some of the people that we went to homecoming with, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we're at we're at this friend's house, who I will not say, and you guys should come over." So we went over, and there was a couple people that we knew. It was just a bunch of girls, basically from there, and some dudes that came over, and we all had like a little movie night kind of thing, and that was really fun. Um, and especially on the way back home, we were a little uh, we became a little bit of like hoodlums. And so Mazomanie, Wisconsin is this little town in just basically the middle of nowhere. And so our friend lived in the boonies, like deep, deep, deep in the boonies. And we were going home, and we were in my friend's SUV, and then our other friend had his car, and he was driving in front of us. And so we were in the middle of nowhere, and this was like, I just want to explain, this is when all the corn was already plowed down, everything was harvested, and there was nothing out there. And we thought he was just gonna go take a left into town, but instead he takes a shortcut right through the cornfield, and he has like just a I forgot what kind of car it was, but it's not a four-wheel drive. And so we thought he was gonna get stuck, but instead of like being the good people and driving on the road, we decided, and we're in an SUV, it's a 4x4. Let's just ram right through the cornfield. So we drove right through that cornfield. We were expecting him to get stuck and pop his tires or something, but he didn't. He made it right through, and then we made it right through. And I mean, I don't want to. It kind of kills me because I'm not much of a hoodlum. You know what I mean? So, but it was fun. We were just. It was late at night, barely in the car, so we were safe in that aspect. And we got home, dropped off our friends, and went back home and slept, lived our lives. So that was my second job. That's why I left it. Now my third job was um, working at this place called Weedman Lawn Care. And Weedman Lawn Care is one of the biggest chains, or I forgot what they told us. It was like they're one of the biggest chains in North America. Or no, they're not the best, but they're the biggest. Which is where they always like kind of told us to say if anybody ever asked us when. Basically, the job is you have to go and knock on doors and be like, "Hello, my name is Oscar from Weedman Lawn Care. How are you today? Good, good, good. Don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here in your neighborhood, going door by door, offering you guys free lawn care estimates. Just want to stop by and make sure that's okay with you. Oh, okay. And then you take down your information, and they say yes. Most of the people said no only because sometimes you didn't have their information, and like it was one of those things where if you had their information already, oddly enough, they were less creeped out than if you were to ask them for their information. And so I barely got any leads, and I ended up quitting because there were too many rude people. And like it wasn't. It was like in the middle of the winter, which I didn't understand why anybody would want to get lawn service, like a lawn care estimate, because it was just February and it was snowing and it was like -50, and they were having us I go out there knocking on doors around like 8 o'clock, so it was like dark outside. People were eating dinner. Some people, I had one crazy dude come out, and I did my whatever the thing is. I told him all my words, whatever it's called, and he's like, "Oh, why would I want lawn care service now?" And I told him, well, because it's never too early because spring is coming. So why wouldn't you want a lawn care estimate? Because you don't want an ugly lawn now, do you?" And he's like, "You think spring is coming?" And this is where I got freaked out because I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can you tell me when spring is coming?" And I'm like, "In a couple months, I guess, or something. I don't know, a couple weeks." And he's like, "Oh, really? Because right now we're in an ice age, and spring is not going to come for years and years to come." And I just didn't know how to respond because this dude was crazy. He's like, "Winter's never going to end. We're going to be in winter forever. So why do I care about my lawn?" And I'm like, I just kind of told him, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm trying to do my job. Like, don't kill me. He's like, "No, man." And he calmed down weirdly enough. And he's just like, "No, man, no, I got you. I understand. You need to do your job." I'm like, "Okay, why would you scream at me then?" But that happened. I had a couple people open up the doors and like drag out their little girls and be like, "Do you see that little girl? I love that little girl. I don't want any chemicals that can harm my little girl on my lawn. She loves playing on that lawn. Do you see that lawn right there? She loves playing on that lawn." And I'm just sitting here like, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, I'm just trying to make money, honestly. Like, I'm not like, and I mean, it wasn't. I do care. I don't want the little girl to die, but it was like one of the things that the Weedman Lawn Care is known for apparently is they're like the most environmentally friendly. Like you could eat their chemicals or you could eat their fertilizer or whatever, and you would not die. And I told that to this guy, and he was just like, okay, so I'll buy your product, which I wasn't selling him anything. I was just giving him a free lawn care estimate, but he didn't want it. He's just like, come back with some of your fertilizer and some of your chemicals, and then eat them right in front of me. And if you don't die right in front of me, I will buy your product. And I was just in awe because once again, I wasn't trying to sell this guy anything. I was just trying to give him a free estimate. If somebody came up to me and gave me a free estimate, look, to be honest, I'd probably tell them no. But it's like, thank you for trying to give me a free estimate. It's kind of you. I appreciate it. But no, I had a bunch of people who just yelled at me and told me that I was trying to kill their daughters and like all this other fun stuff. So that was crazy. So I quit the job. I thought it was not worth it. I think it was also a pyramid scheme, to be honest. But that's a whole different story, and I don't want to get into that because I don't want to get in trouble. So that happened, and then what was my next job? What was my next job? Then I went back and I worked um, at Subway once again, and I worked there up until just a couple months ago. I once again I loved it. Everything was nice. I was actually hired back by the same owner, only at a different Subway location that they owned, and they were really kind. But I had to quit because I commute to school. It's an hour 30 minutes. I go 2 times a week, and then I also have another job at a place who I'd rather not say the name because um, I'm currently working there, but let's call the place West Western or something. It's a hotel chain once again, and um, I'm working there also right now, and so I quit Subway because I couldn't do that and I couldn't do the commuting and all the long hours. But right now at the job I'm working at, I currently it's a job. No really big complaints. I mean, kind of one of those things where it's just like a day by day check marky kind of job that you have to do, and you know, um, you have to make money somehow. But can't say any crazy stories from there. But I did remember one story that I have from Subway that I can quickly tell before I run out of time here. Um, One time this lady came in, and there's many stories, but this lady came in and she decided that she wanted to use our bathroom. And we're nice at Subway, and we told her, yeah, sure, go ahead, use the bathroom. And so she used the bathroom. She was in there about an hour. She comes out and she leaves something at the garbage cans by the doors at Subway. If you work there, I'm sure you know where I'm talking about, and if you don't, then you should know because who doesn't go to Subway? But it was right there. She left something. We didn't know what it was, and honestly, none of us each actually saw that she left this thing. But a customer comes in like 10 minutes later, and then they get their food and they're about to leave, and they look at this thing and they're like, "Hey, I think someone left some like I think someone left their clothes here." So one of us goes out there and checks it, and it turns out to be a pair of dirty, stained underwear. And it was the most disgusting thing because they were crusty and oh my, it was just horrible. So nobody wanted to pick it up, even though we had gloves. It was so nasty. You don't want to pick up the poop stained homeless lady underwear. And we all did rock paper scissors, and I ended up losing, so I had to pick up the nasty underwear, and that was that was one of my many crazy experiences at Subway. I've had people get mad at me. I've had people who just sit there and kind of talk to themselves uh, for about like 5 hours. We had a normal guy who came in literally that long and would just sit there and talk to himself for a long period of time. And but Subway is a loving company, so we never kicked them out, or maybe we just didn't care enough to kick them out. But either way, and yeah, those have been my experiences. I know I said six, and I think I only gone through five. I worked at a laundromat for a little while, but I don't want to consider that like a real job because it was only for like I covered for like a friend every now and then, and that happened. So that's really about it. I mean, those were my job experiences, and I had a lot of fun, and maybe more in the future, and I'll talk about them more again. But thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I don't know what topic I'm going to have tomorrow, but I'll make sure to try to make it a little more interesting than I made this topic. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.